Hello and welcome to another Naval Action episode. In this one, I'm going to be covering how to actually set up your profile. The first few screens you'll see as you get into the game, we're going to be talking about doing your initial in-game tutorials and your in-game exams as well. I may break this up into smaller sections for simply easy upload on YouTube, but I will talk as if it's one continuous recording. Depending on the recording time, I will have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 videos out that will tie this all together. But for now, we've loaded up the game and we're into the first screen you'll see as you load up Naval Action. And this is the server selection. Naval Action has 2 servers that are separated by their player base and their player characters. But what upgrades on one upgrades on a second. Now there is a few differences with these two. We have the war server on the left, and if you hover over it, it'll say what it actually does. There's a great risk, danger, adrenaline, because this is the PvP server. Now this is where players can attack players and enemy fleets can engage other player fleets and stuff like that. So this is the PvP server. The other one is the P server or the PvE server. It's calm. You cannot attack other players. NPCs won't attack you as such, and it's more safe, calm, and just a little more casual. So all depending on what kind of playstyle you want, you will select the server accordingly. And you can have a profile on both servers. However, there's no crossing your profile from the PvE server to the PvE. It's all separate. You can have a profile on each server, as I said, but those profiles are separate. My main profile is on the PvE server, simply because I'm a bit more of a casual player, a bit more lazy when it comes to my trade. I don't necessarily feel the need for the risk of doing a trade run across the map and have several players come up and attack me as I do so, as I usually do that AFK. So it's all down to you whether you want some PvP action or you want PvE and have more of a co-op play style where you play with others as a team to engage NPCs. All down to you. Say more or less the same amount of players on both servers for now, and very active clans on both. So you could choose to have an active profile on both and play both servers for different reasons, or you can simply just select the one that you feel the need to. Just know that you can have a profile on each server, but there is no cross connection between the 2 profiles. So what you do on one won't affect the other. So as my main profile is on the PvE, I don't want to restart that one, so I'll select the PvP server for this recording. And you may get this authentication error once in a while, and sometimes 2 or 3, 4 times in a row. Just keep hitting it. Just keep trying to log on. It's a game connection thing to Steam. So don't worry about it. Just keep connecting. It might take a few tries at times. It happens all. So player creation. As you get to this screen, you have the option to enter your name. I will do that first. I'll use the same name as I do on my PvE server. I'll make it easier for others to recognize me. Whoops. That's the first bit. Next bit is select your nation. Now, it will describe the nation's inherent difficulty level, I say, because it's all based on how the nation was when it started in game and where their main capital is located on the map. So it may say, like it does here, that the pirates are a hard difficulty level. May not actually be so on the server, but that's all down to the clans you engage and how the balance of power currently is on the PvP server. So you click on the tab here and it'll list all the nations you can choose: pirates, Spain, France, Great Britain, the Dutch, the Danish, the Swedes, US, Russian Empire, Prussians, Poland, or China as the latest faction. I'm a Danish player by heart, and I'll always continue to be so. And I have a few connections on the PvP server for cross trading. So I'll select Denmark, Norway again. And you'll see here that it changes from hard to very hard, and it'll give a short explanation as to why. So once you entered your name, selected your nation, simply press create. It'll create your character, and this will be the screen you get into from now on. Once you've created your character, you don't see the character creation screen again unless you restart that character on that specific server. You can do so by simply pressing remove, and it'll prompt a menu to have that character deleted, and you'll start over again. But for now, I'll simply just press start, and it will load up. And I'll get back to you once we get into the game. And here we are. Now, first time you engage into a specific server, you will be prompted directly into a starting combat that you have to finish before you can interact with the game. But because I've had this profile on the server before, it will skip that part. And again, it's just a way to throw you directly into the action, have you into a combat, allow you to fumble around with the controls a bit. But after that, you'll get back into port, and this is what you'll see. This is the main screen. I'll just close the chat tab down in the corner, but you can do so by pressing T. It'll bring up or remove the chat. But this is your main screen. Now, I have other videos in the basics video covering what each and every section does, so I'm not really going into this. But what we will be looking at is the what to do book you have in your upper right hand corner. Tips and tricks for whatever you want to do. You can press basics, and it will give you a short description and shortcuts for the menus in game. That's there, and definitely a good friend in the beginning. What you want to do is get into the tutorials. By pressing the upper left hand corner on the cogs, you get your menu. You can also do that by pressing escape and go into the tutorial. This will open up the tutorial window. And for the first set of tutorials, you'll have the gunnery, the sailing, the special maneuvers, and the pursuit and capture tutorials. On the left hand side, you have your exams you can choose to do. There's the destruction exam, the demastering exam, the boarding exam, and the endurance exam. And in the end, you'll reach the final exam. Now, if you hover over each of them, it will give you a short description of what it does and what you have to do in it. So the gunnery obviously teaches you basic gunnery skills. Sailing teaches you basic sailing skills. Special maneuvers, yada yada yada. You get the idea. Same with the exams. Hover over it. You need to sink the enemy ship by cannon fire without boarding. The best time you have is 5 minutes. Best time, blah 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 blah. If you want to compete with yourself like that. Finals, you have to sink 2 enemy ships that are sailing as a group, and it'll show who has the best time on the server, blah, blah, blah. Now, doing the tutorials will be a good way for you to get into the basic maneuvers and mechanics of the game. Exams, likewise, simply just letting you know, okay, I got these mechanics down. The finals is a way for you to prove to yourself you got this down. Also, the reward from doing the final exam is actually quite a nifty boost to your XP and gives you a ship and a few resources as well. So definitely suggest doing the finals doing the exams and final exams to get ahead in the game if you're starting out brand new. Also, you'll notice that both the tutorial, only the first one is unlocked. There's a small lock icon on the others. You have to do one before unlocking the next one. Same goes for the exams, but the final is open if you want to go straight to it. That was just a quick introduction. I'll record each of the tutorials and each of the exams independently, and depending on how much recording times it'll take, I'll probably break that down into separate videos following on this one. But for now, that was just the character creation, the difference in the two servers, and the basic overview of how to find the tutorials. So next up will be the gunnery tutorial.